right, so no doubt Selena had millions of fans here in Texas, but also around the world. I mean, I myself became a huge Selena fan when I came to the States here at a young age. We have Kristin Dean, who's our digital producer. She grew up in Texas, huge Selena fan. Men and women. I mean, Gilbert Gomez, a Ken's Five producer as well. And Gilbert, you were a big fan your entire life as well.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, that's just the kind of impact really Selena has had. Kristin, I know that you have a particular memory there because everybody remembers the moment, I think, when they found out that Selena was shot. And it was shocking. It's just one of those things you never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in middle school at the time, and I just remember being at home. I'd gotten home from school because the crime happened during the day, and I'd gotten home from school. My best friend called me on our landline and told me that Selena had died, and she was distraught. She was so upset. I didn't really understand what was going on at first, but obviously it became clear to all of us. And from that point on, it was all anybody in Corpus Christi talked about for years. She was beloved, and it was a shock. It was a shock to the community.
You actually still get a little emotional as you're talking about it. I could hear it in your voice.
I do, and I watch the videos, and I can't watch the videos without just all those memories coming back, and how we all felt, how we collectively grieved for her.
Yeah, and Gilbert, I mean, for you, what was it like? Do you remember that moment where you were?
Yeah, it's a memory. It's burned in there. Like a couple of other news stories, you always remember where you're at. I was in the band hall in high school. I was a senior, and it was after our last class, and we always stick around the band hall because we always have practice afterwards. And then somebody came in and said, Selena had been shot, she'd been killed. And it's just an incredible thing to hear before the internet. So when somebody said something, it was usually the truth. Nobody questioned it. Probably heard it on the radio, and that's all you heard on the radio for the next couple of days was just Selena hits, one after the other, and she had a lot of hits. And yeah, anybody can talk about for some time. And it's just an incredible thing to hear, especially in a place like Laredo where you saw Selena would play there year after year. There's a regular thing that she would do is perform in Laredo.
Now, did you ever watch her perform in
many
person?
Many times.
Wow.
And she always put on a great show.
And was that before she started to make it really big? Was when it was small, like stops at clubs?
A lot of dance halls. If it wasn't a quinceañera, if it wasn't a wedding, they would usually book a Tejano artist just to go into the venues to get people in there. And so some days it will be Selena opening up for another artist, or one day it'll be a Selena and Los Dinos. It was always Los Dinos. It was the family. People talked about them like that back then, Selena y Los Dinos. So you would see them all the time. You might go to a wedding, you never knew who was going to play, and sometimes, oh, it's Selena's playing. It's like a little treat. Always put on a great show. And always very energetic performances. She was a great dancer, as good of a singer as she was, and it really got the party going.
I can't help but envy you a little bit, and I feel like Kristin's probably feeling the same way, the fact that you got to see her perform. I mean, I can't imagine how incredible that was to be there in person, watching, this beautiful, young, vibrant performer who just really touched people on so many levels. What was it like being there, watching her? Did she like make you want to get up and dance? What was it like in person?
People would dance. I kind of take it for granted these days. When I would see her, say I was 10 or 11 years old, Selena would have been 17 or 18 at the time. When you're 10 or 11, that seems like an adult. And so you think, oh, you're watching an adult in a Tejano band performing. Looking back on it now, it's like she was just a kid. The whole family, they were just kids. But they put on great shows, as good as anybody else. And looking back on it, it's like they were real good. You never knew you were watching essentially children playing and having a great time.
And that's, I think, what made it so sad. We can agree the fact that she was just so young, and I think a lot of people saw themselves in her, and a lot of parents saw their kids in her.
Yeah, it was a treat looking back on it now. But yeah, we saw her many times. A lot of great, and we also saw her become more famous. We were aware that she was becoming famous. She would play local festivals all the time.
Did you anticipate that when you watched her perform, you're like, she's going to go somewhere one day because she was that amazing?
We could kind of see it happening because we could see the crowds getting bigger and bigger. Laredo has a big festival called the Jalapeno Festival, and she would always play it every year. It's like you just kind of expected her to be one of the performers, and you see the crowds just getting bigger and bigger. And I remember one year, I think it was my junior year in high school, My friends and I was like, hey, we're going to go see Selena, right? And it's like, yeah, let's go. And it was kind of a big deal that day. And we looked forward to the show. We talked about it for a few days, and we went, had a great time. She put on a great show. A lot of people know her from that famous Astrodome performance.
Yeah.
But she always put in that kind of energy. A lot of dancing, a lot of smiling.
Yeah, that's one thing we heard from a lot of the people like Shelley Lottes, who was really close to her as a childhood friend, but also a fellow musician. And she said we were very different performers, in the sense that you have musicians, but Selena was a performer. She knew how to put on a show and really draw in the crowd and really connect with her fans. You too. I mean, you had such a unique experience after her passing. One of the things that to continue her legacy, you actually participated in that. You want to share that with everyone?
Yes, I was an extra in the Selena movie, starring Jennifer Lopez, who herself at the time was just getting her career started. So interesting parallel with her career. But I was an extra in the scene at the very end of the movie where she wins a Grammy. They put the call out for anybody and everybody in Corpus Christi to come out because they needed a huge crowd of people who would have been at the Grammy Awards.
And were you still in school at the time?
Yes, so that was 1997. I was in high school at that point.
And that was in Corpus Christi,
it
where
was-
the movie was
yes.
shot.
Yeah, most of the movie was shot in Corpus Christi, some scenes in San Antonio and Laredo. But yeah, it was at Del Mar College, the community college there in Corpus Christi. And they had us all dressed in our most formal wear. And we showed up and, took several hours to tape, of course. And then at the end, they allowed us to go meet Jennifer Lopez. So we were able to, they had a huge line. So we stood in line and I got Jennifer Lopez's autograph. In 1997.
I was going to say, did you grab a picture? Because
No,
we didn't have the iPhones at
no,
the time.
yeah.
If we did, all
No,
this would have been on our
unfortunately,
iPhones.
Yeah, no, but I remember Jennifer Lopez she was so amazing. She took the time to talk to the fans because